Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Nova Scotia. Welcome back to Colorful Creations. I'm gonna fix up this table I got. I'll show you here. All right, so I picked up this on Kijiji for $7. It has a glass insert. So I want to do a Dutch pour on this, I'm guessing, something, and then rig up LED lights underneath so it illuminates. And now this is kind of banged up a little bit. So I think I'm gonna, I'm not sure, I've never done anything like this before, but probably strip it down and refinish it. And then have the whole thing covered in resin. So I'll take you through the whole thing and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So first thing, I'm gonna strip this right down to the wood, so I'm using the heaviest sandpaper I could find for this sander. This actually took me about an hour, but I'm speeding it up for you because that would be really boring to watch. And now I'm just cleaning it up with a baby wipe to get all the dust off before I stain it. I want to do this properly, so I picked up a can of pre-stain. This covers the entire thing and it just gets it prepped and ready for the stain. On the can it says it will help to apply it evenly so you won't get blotches and uneven streaks and stuff. And now for the stain. I picked a red mahogany. I figured a dark color would be more forgiving if my sanding wasn't as perfect as I was hoping it to be. This calls for a couple coats, so you just wait at least an hour, I think it said between coats, and then wipe down the excess with a cloth before adding the second coat. And coat number 2. Hopefully it evens this out. This is the glass insert for the table. I've washed it, it's dried. So now I want to do a Dutch pour on this and hopefully leave some negative space. It's a really tiny surface, it's really hard to work with. So I'm gonna start with putting my white down. These are mixed how I always mix them. There's a link to a video in the description if you want to see. I will put all the colors on the screen and in the description. I won't bore you by talking about every single one right now. I'm going to speed a bit of this up. All the bubbles. I think I'm going to put my colors through the middle. Freaking hate it. I hate it. And I completely hate this. This is not what I'm going for at all. It's gone. I know, really sad, eh? Looking at it later, it actually wasn't that bad. Oh well, that's part of pour painting. You don't always like the results, so just scrape it, wipe it up, and start again. At least it's small. It's not going to waste that much paint. Let's give this a second try. So I'll put my base coat down again. I really want more negative space this time. That means more white left. So I'm starting with the Colorshift Purple Flash. And here's the purple, and there's a little metallic purple added to that. The Ultramarine Blue with a little metallic blue added as well. This is Pebeo Iridescent Blue-Green. This is the metallic Cobalt Blue. Next I'm adding Phthalo Green. This is another color shift called Aqua Flash. A little iridescent gold. More purple because it's pretty. I love it. Just give it a quick torch to get rid of the bubbles. Alright, and now to blow it out. I'm going to try not to blow it out too much because I really want to have some negative space left and I want it to be really simple looking. know, I think I like it. I think it's simple, and that's kind of what I want. So I'm just gonna make sure I have the edges covered really well. Something just fell in there, so I gotta fix it. You know, I kind of like a little bit more over here, but I'm just worried that if I do anything, it's gonna make it ruin it, and I really like the simplicity of it. I'm gonna try just adding a couple drops there. I can always get rid of them. Okay, I think that'll work. So I think this is nice and simple the way I want it. Minimal, nothing too crazy, nothing really jumps out at me. I don't think, like it's pretty, it's just a piece of furniture. I just want it to be pretty. And I'm hoping that I can put lights underneath and light that up. We'll see. All right, so I have this ready. I'm actually inside of a tent right now. I used drop sheets and hung them over the top of the lights to make a tent so that no dust can land in this while it's curing. Hopefully it works. I taped back the sides and checked it so the plastic's not gonna fall in on this again. So I have this all taped up like I showed you. Hopefully it doesn't fall in. I'm really hoping this works. So I'm using magic resin. I usually use art resin. It's mixed 1-to-1, just the same as art resin. Mix it for the same amount of time, mix it really well. I'm gonna just pour a bit on here and then kind of flatten it out with a gloved hand, and then use a torch to get the air bubbles out. I'm gonna be wearing a ventilator because every chemical is toxic. I don't care what it says. So I'll be wearing that and I won't be able to speak. So I'm hoping that covers everything. It sits for 24 hours and it takes 3 days to cure. So I'm gonna mix up some of this and get it on there. When I started to edit this, I realized that a huge section had been cut out and deleted somehow. So basically I had put a coat of resin on the top part of this and the middle section, and also on the glass insert that I just did the pour on. The stain wasn't looking the way I wanted it to. It was drying even, it was just drying with some spots shiny and some spots dull. So I decided to put resin on the top and the middle piece just to even that out and make it all shiny. It wasn't perfect on the piece that I'm redoing here because I had draped a sheet over top of it to protect it from dust falling in, but that sheet fell in it and dried and made a big ridge. So I had to sand all that down, and a couple other little bumpy spots I sanded down. I cleaned it up, and then I decided to tape it off to make things easier. So the tape you see around the outside is taped that it's left up about 1/4 of an inch above the surface, so it makes like a dam. And then I taped off the ledge on the inside where the glass sits, the glass insert sits, to make sure nothing falls in there, and then makes it all uneven when I try to put the glass back. My plan is to leave it sit here for a little while until it just starts to harden, and then I'll peel the tape off and then let the resin just kind of soften down over the edge. I noticed some of the resin trying to drip down on the bottom part, so I just covered it with paper to protect it. So when the resin's on, it's always a good idea to run over the whole thing with a torch just to get the bubbles out, and then at the same time check for if any dirt or dust fell in there while you were doing the whole thing. Now here, I waited a little while for the resin to just start to harden, and then I very carefully peeled the tape off so that the resin on top could kind of soften down over the side and give it a nice edge. All right, so I took the tape off there probably 2 hours after I put the resin on. I was hoping it would just kind of smooth over the edge, and it did, but it was such a thick coat that I do have a little bit of a ridge here. I'll show you actually. I'm just gonna sand the edge down and that should fix it. I'm not gonna redo it. It's already been a lot. I'm just gonna have a look, see how much seeps through this though. Okay, so a little bit. I'm gonna try using a hairdryer and a blade just to scrape that off. This is what I have that I'm gonna paint on the lags here. So I'm gonna show you. Here's what I mean. This is the worst part. It was just really thick and it ran down like that. It's kind of a ridge here. Kind of same thing. In here is pretty good. I got a couple pieces, but I think they're okay because the insert's gonna cover them. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sand this down. That should be good. This just goes over the stain parts, so the legs and sides, and then I'm using it also on the edge there where I sanded down the resin just to give the edge a little bit of a shine again. I used 3 coats of this. Okay, we're almost done. Get the finish on it. It's looking awesome. It's kind of collecting a lot of dust. I think I'll have to clean it with one of those cleaners that repel dust. Now let's see at the top. Here's the top piece. Hopefully this fits and I don't have to put resin on anything to make it level. Oh my God. This is so pretty. And it's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna bring you in so you can have a better look at this. All right, here it is. This turned out so nice. Not bad for $7. All the stain evened out. I got a nice shiny top here. That extra coat of resin really made a huge difference. And it's even, which is kind of what I was worried about in the beginning. I really like this part here. There's my dog playing. All right, so I didn't pick up LED lights to put underneath it, but I'm gonna put a lamp and just show you how it looks illuminated. I just put a lamp under there, but LED lights, like a string of them, would probably be better. So what do you think? Turn the lights out. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you have any suggestions or ideas, anything you would like to see. And I'll see you in the next one.